Conscious awakening, the eighth spiritual law of the universe. I will introduce the law of conscious awakening by recapitulating the first 7 spiritual laws that we have seen so far. It is a fascinating experience to see how one law leads to another until we arrive at this 8th law, which is really the heart of the human experience, the success secret you are seeking. The first law, wholeness. Wholeness is the absolute fact of life. Reality is a whole, a oneness, a totality, or a unity in which every part is the holographic image of the whole. The whole lives and moves and has its being in the part. The part lives and moves and has its being in the whole. The second law, infinity. This wholeness is a transcendent infinity in which the observable universe exists as a transient and finite phenomenon. The source of life has no source. The cause of life has no cause. This transcendent infinity from which life emerges is unknowable, unfathomable, and inexhaustible at its origin. The third law, intelligence. This infinite wholeness is intelligent. That is, it is a living presence that is aware of itself and whose self-expression is deliberate and intentional. The observable universe is a matrix that reveals an intelligent design that has been consistent and precise for billions of years. Also, the intelligence or self-awareness of man suggests that the source that is imaged by man must be an intelligent being. The fourth law, expansion. The infinite and intelligent whole is also a perpetually expanding force. This is so because since it is infinite, unfathomable, and inexhaustible at its source, its self-expression must be perpetual and eternal. The perpetual increase of life is evidenced by the law of growth and multiplication in nature and the perpetual expansion of the cosmos. Infinite self-fulfillment through infinite self-expression is the true meaning of the word glory. The glory of God, or the eternal increase of life, is the purpose of life. The fifth law, creativity. The infinite, intelligent, and perpetually expanding whole is what we call spirit. This spirit is a creative force. The observable universe is a self-expression of the spirit which creates through its self-contemplation. Reality is therefore a duality in which there is an inner essence or spirit, which is the thing in itself, and an outer expression or form, which is the thing in manifestation. This duality originates from within the creative spirit and replicates itself through all of creation. The sixth law, individualization. Spirit is all there is. Awareness, consciousness, or thinking is the mechanism by which spirit lives. Since spirit is all there is, and there is nothing outside of itself to think about or act upon, spirit thinks by thinking about itself. Self-contemplation is thus the mechanism of creation. Now, that which spirit contemplates itself as becomes the self-image or identity of spirit. In its absolute, unconditioned, and infinite state, spirit is God the Father, or the eternal I am. The identity or quality that spirit assumes in the process of self-awareness is the self-image of God or the Son of God. It is this self-image of God that constitutes the logos of creation, the blueprint or pattern that manifests itself as the universe. The Father and the Son are one, but the Father is greater than the Son. The Father is in the Son. The Son is in creation, and creation is in the Son. It is through the principle of individualization that God becomes His creation, but is not consumed by it. The seventh law, incarnation. Man is a divine spirit dwelling in a body of flesh and experiencing itself as a soul. This is the meaning of incarnation. The incarnation is a birth of the natural self, which is a product of conditioning. The natural self you now carry is a systematic and progressive work of 7 mechanisms of conditioning, namely pre-genetic selection, genetic selection, epigenetic selection, astrological priming, childhood programming, cultural programming, and auto-suggestive programming. This is the fallen state in which your subconscious program spontaneously creates a life of struggle and pain, and you find yourself competing for survival, consistent with the laws that govern the beasts in the jungle. Your natural self is only an improved version of the beasts in the jungle. It is not the real you. It is a seed out of which your true self is to emerge. Therefore, the only real success is the spiritual transformation into your sublime self. And now we come to the 8th law, conscious awakening. The tragedy of life is that humans mistake their natural self for their real self and then go about trying to use motivation, manifestation techniques, and religious practices to improve this natural self, make it perform better, make it healthier and happier, and so on. All these are impossibilities, and we have the evidence all around us to prove it. There is no external instrument that can bring about inner peace, because inner peace, or the state of bliss known as the kingdom of heaven, is attainable only by those that have experienced the transformation known as the spiritual birth. Every human is destined to be born twice. First, by water and blood through the womb of a woman, that is the incarnation, and second, by the spirit from above through the process of conscious awakening or illumination. Jesus told Nicodemus that, "Very truly I tell you, no one can enter the kingdom of God unless they are born of water and the Spirit." Paul explains in his letter to the Romans what this birth from above means. "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God." Mark the conjunction "then" in this quote. It is through discernment, not conformity, that you become a partaker of the divine life. And discernment is a faculty that is possessed only by those who have been transformed. It is here that we understand in a new light what Albert Einstein meant when he said, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." In simpler terms, your life will change only if you first change yourself. The good news I have for you is that the state called heaven is not a religious affair, and the process of attaining heaven is not a religious affair. Heaven is a religious symbol of the state of bliss, oneness with the source, and sublime living, which is what we all are seeking, although our minds have been corrupted with the false notions of success. The second birth or spiritual transformation by which we attain our sublime nature also has nothing to do with religion. It is a direct spiritual experience that is attained through the cultivation of scientific faith. And scientific faith is a conviction you arrive at through the use of reason to unveil, master, and apply the laws by which the universe unfolds. It is no wonder that the eighth spiritual law of the universe is the law by which you become a new creation. These 8 laws constitute the octave of creation. According to the book of Genesis, God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th day. In the New Testament, we are told that Jesus resurrected on the first day of the new week, that is, the 8th day. The 8th day of creation is therefore the day of the new creation, the day of your spiritual birth through conscious awakening. Ponder these words until your sublime self unfolds within you and manifests the glory you came here to manifest. I am GodfreyEsoh, and this is Spiritual Engineering.